The unmistakable Arena bottle has been reliably introducing a distinct brand of filmmaking since the 1970s. I've been a fan ever since I first saw it. This year, the programme celebrates its 40th anniversary, making it the longest-running arts documentary strand in the history of television. Throughout those 40 years, it has addressed the arts and culture of the world, high and low, from the Old Kent Road to Robben Island, Amy Winehouse to T.S. Eliot, the cinema of Bergman and Visconti to Elvis Presley's Diet. The Arena Archive is a treasure trove that provides a unique history of the last 100 years. It was originated by Humphrey Burton, then head of BBC Music and Arts in 1975. Burton had one of the most distinguished profiles in television. He produced Ken Russell's legendary film on Elgar for Monitor and was television's leading figure in the arts. The first episode featured no less than Laurence Olivier in conversation with Kenneth Tynan.
She was immensely generous. All her money, she was free with as the air. She was marvellous in helping.
At one point, she actually asked for her salary to be cut.
Yes. Yes, she was so worried about the expenditure going on. Of course, she lived on nothing. Sausages and sardines or something.
In its first year, it was a weekly magazine programme. Then Leslie McGahey took over, and the series has had only 3 editors since, all like-minded and all directors in their own right. So, highly unusually for a TV strand, Arena has been run by an unbroken editorial sensibility pretty much through its entire history. McGahey has directed some of the finest films about visual artists ever made. In 1978, he passed the role on to Alan Yentob, who'd already made the classic film about David Bowie, Cracked Actor. As editors, both continued to direct, and notably McGahey's definitive portrait of Orson Welles and Yentob's entertaining engagement with Mel Brooks. During Yentob's editorship, within a pool of highly talented directors, there was a small team that worked only on Arena. Author Nigel Williams' work, including films on George Orwell, Joe Orton and Jean Genet, became the core of Arena's literary output, and Nigel Finch and Anthony Wall made the films that gave Arena its unique signature style. My Way, The Chelsea Hotel, The Private Life of the Ford Cortina, and Desert Island Discs were witty, stylish, and somewhat irreverent meditations on subjects that at the time would not have been thought to be within the remit of the BBC Music and Arts department. Alan Yentob became head of that department in 1985. Nigel Finch and Anthony Wall took over and ran the series until Finch's untimely death in 1995. Wall has continued as sole editor ever since. The films I've mentioned represent only a fraction of Arena's output. The film you're about to see brings together the work of many producers, directors, and their teams, but it demonstrates a commonality of purpose that characterizes the 600 or so films in the Arena canon. It's been showered with honors at home and abroad, not least 9 BAFTA awards and 25 BAFTA nominations. Rather than make a best-of compilation to mark the anniversary, the decision was made to try and bring the past into the present and make a new film. It's an evocation, drawn entirely from Arena films, of the one experience common to everything and everyone on the planet, the inexorable 24-hour cycle of night and day, dawn to dusk, and on to dawn again. And remember, the darkest hour is just before the dawn.
To begin at the beginning. It is spring, moonless night in the small town. Starless and Bible black, the cobbled streets silent, and the hunched quarters and rabbit's wood, limping invisible down to the slow black, crow-black fishing boat bobbing sea. The houses are blind as moles, The moles see fine tonight in the snouting velvet dingles, and all the people of the lulled and dumbfound town are sleeping now. Night and day, you are the one. Only you beneath the moon and under the sun. Whether near to me or far, it's no matter, darling, where you are.
I haven't slept very much in the past couple of years, and I wake up very early, usually around 6 o'clock, with unaccountable feelings of optimism. I lie in bed smoking for half an hour, which is pretty disgusting, contemplating the horror of having to write a column and wondering just what the hell to write one about. Then I do it with some desperation.
California. I made about 3 trips back to Texas and back to Oklahoma and back to California again by freight train, and every time I saw hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and thousands of families of people living around under railroad bridges. I'm stranded on that road that goes from sea to sea. 100,000 others are stranded same as me. 100,000, yes, 100,000 more, and I ain't got no home in this world anymore.
chose the name polystyrene because it's a lightweight disposable product.
Yeah, it sounded all right because I thought it was a send-up of being a pop star. It's like a little figure, not me, being polystyrene. Just plastic, disposable. That's what pop star sort of meant to me, and so therefore I thought I might as well send it up.
The Surrealists never believed in looking bohemian because they realised that people expected bohemian artists to behave madly. And so they chose to look like everybody else. And when they did, therefore, attack the bourgeoisie through surprise, scandal, or whatever means they chose, it was all the more shock to those they attacked that those who were attacking them looked exactly like themselves. Messens, for instance, was absolutely meticulous about his appearance, and in the bathroom, even to the point of obsession. For instance, he shaved no less than 3 times, using a fantastically elaborate mathematical system to select a Gillette razor blade from a huge pile he kept on the glass shelf in front of his glass.
Where is the jam? The jam is up there.
Beans, tomatoes, chips, mushrooms, fried potatoes, toothpick bread and butter, and it comes up really heaped well up on a plate. Point four.
That morning when I walked into the dining room, I spoke. I said, "Good morning." He said, "Good morning." I said, "What are we going to have for breakfast this morning?" He said, "Fried peanut butter and banana sandwich." And I looked at him. I said, "What?" He said, "Fried peanut butter and banana sandwich." I said, "I never heard of it." The first time I went in, fixed the sandwich and put it on the tray and brought it back, that wasn't right. His father was sitting there, and he said, "Mary, I'm going with you and help you. And let's see, maybe both of us can get it right." I said, "Okay." And he said, "Let's toast the bread first." So we toast the bread and then spread the peanut butter on it and slice the bananas and put on it and put them into the skillet and kept turning them with the spatula and turn them till they got heated all the way through. Then I take them and cut them, put them on the platter and taking them back to him. And he said, "Now that's what I want, that's right." And then smile.
Run for that train, come on.
Radio 4. Now it's 9:05 and time for Desert Island Discs. As usual, the castaway is introduced by Roy Plumley.
And my 1,630th castaway is, I'm happy to say, Paul McCartney, composer, musician, and ex-Beatle. How well could you endure loneliness?
How well could I endure loneliness? I don't really know. When I was a kid, I never used to mind it too much. Since then, I haven't actually been very lonely, so I haven't kind of tested it lately. But I never used to mind it too much. I used to quite like getting away on my own.
You mean alone, prolongedly, on a desert island?
That's it.
Well, it's, as the old joke goes, it's better than the alternative.
What's that?
Being dead.
Well, yes.
You see what I mean? But I wouldn't like it for too long, no.
The whole idea doesn't appeal to me at all. I'm not especially gregarious. I can get along with my own dismal personality for a little while, but I would hate to endure it for any length of time.
To know and be uncertain about when you would see anyone else would be a problem. You know, fortunately, football means I've had fairly busy life. Got a lot of friends and meet a lot of people, and actually got a strong family background as well. So I think to be isolated like that would be a problem unless you knew some little boat was going to come along in a few months' time and rescue you.
Can't set any term to it.
That's right, that's what I'm worried about.
Julio, go over to Warner Brothers this afternoon. Get a shopping bag. Pick up the money that's due to us from Blazing Saddles. We should have over $100 there waiting. And go to the supermarket. Delicious apples are on sale. Get a pound.
Hi, good morning, Mr. Brooks.
Good to see you, Phil. Phil, raise the gate, for Christ's sake. Will you raise it up? Thank you, Phil. Oh. Julio, get me a half a dozen bagels. Make it 7. Take one for yourself, okay? Good. I hope somebody's in there.
I've been writing a weekly column for The Spectator for 10 years now, write for at least 2 other magazines, and so inspiration is sometimes difficult to muster. But editors continue to ring with bright ideas and impossible deadlines, and so I persevere. I really rather hate what I do for a living, but I suppose it's better than a 9-to-5 job. I have about 6 spasms of job satisfaction a year only. But, as I say, I'd hate to have to rush to work on a train. I simply crawl out of my bed to get to it. I pour myself a drink which seems to lubricate the typewriter, and it certainly makes me feel less inhibited. When you're committed to owning up and taking the piss out of yourself in print, you're a sitting duck for literary snipers, but I don't really mind.
Peter Blake?
Yeah.
I'm Lloyd Ryan.
Hello, Lloyd.
Hello, Peter. Can I introduce you to Kendo Nagasaki?
Kendo?
I must just say that he won't shake hands and he won't speak to you at all. So you have to do this without any communication whatsoever.
Okay, fine.
And Lawrence, Kendo's personal assistant.
Hello, Lawrence. Hello. Well, the studio's at the top of the house, so if you just follow me.
Right.
Good morning, class. As I mentioned yesterday, today is John's birthday. John wrote the famous song, Imagine. So, today I'm gonna look at the story. How did John meet Yoko? Please open your text on the page 81.
When I did the half-a-room show where all the things were in halves, I became interested in objects that's the part of it is just in your mind.
John finished reading the catalog and began walking around the gallery, looking at exhibits. One of the exhibits was an apple, just an ordinary apple, except that the price was $400. John thought this was very funny.
Look, I don't have to pay all that money for an apple.
Yoko was pleased. As an artist, she was very happy that someone was responding to her work.
Climb up a ladder and hammer a nail into the wall of the gallery. This nail is imaginary and will cost you 5 shillings.
I'll give you an imaginary 5 shillings if you let me hammer the imaginary nail.
There are no imaginary nails left.
It was the beginning of a loving, creative, and often difficult relationship.
John suggested that why don't I sell the other half in a bottle? This is half a wind, half a table, half a letter, half a music. Many people said, well, how about a half a cat and all that, you know, or half a human being or something. But I didn't think it was necessary because a person is a half anyway. And at that time I haven't met John yet, but I mean, and so my concept was there maybe subconsciously, you know, that I'm just really a half a person without meeting John or something. But, you know, that bit.
She's got to be.
I try to get all my work done by 11. There are always deadlines to meet. I make mine opening time, whatever the editors may say. Not that I always wait for opening time to have a drink.
I found this completely relaxing, that this is my rhythm today at this time of the day. It is 11 o'clock, and since I have an hourly rhythm, 11 o'clock is my best time. And the rhythm is this, it's quite fast. Now when you're sick and tired of the whole day, you see how tired the rhythm is?
قلبي كنا نتكلم عليه بزاف خلي هذا يزيد. This is علي.
علي.
هذا ميك جاجر معلم كبير. This is عبد الله.
عبد الله.
هذا ميك جاجر. This is Ali.
Ali.
هذا ميك جاجر. This is my brother Mustafa.
Your younger brother?
Yeah, this is my little brother.
This is your older brother.
Yeah.
You're not so bad with him?
No,
You're strong with him?
Yes, he play with me the music. We play sometimes together, man. This is Abdul Nabi. هذا Mick Jagger. This is Abdullah. This is Muhammad. This is old man. He want to see you. Buso she busa. He want to kiss you. And I think he meet you a long time in Tangier.
In Tangier?
In 1001 Night with Brian Geisen.
With Brian Geisen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. This is his name Ali.
Ali, hello Ali.
هذا Mick Jagger.
Hi. Hi.
أجي. هذا محمد. Mick Jagger معلم كبير. This is Mukhtar. Mick Jagger. This I'd be very happy to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
This is Ali. This is Abslam.
Abslam. Hi.
This is Lahsan. هذا Mick Jagger. This is all of them
This
here,
is good.
and they are very, very, very happy. We're waiting for you 20 years ago. We're waiting for you, Mick, and all of them. Be very, very happy.
Well, I'm very happy that we could all come.
Thank you very much.
It was just an idea that Mick and I looked together and said, well, if ever we could use the Zhuka pipes, this is probably the track to do it on, you know. They pick it up amazingly quickly at first. It's just this sort of cacophony of sound, but then suddenly you start, they're getting their patterns down, you know. It's a lot of drummers, you know, they all have to work out what they're going to play. But, it's the pipes I want to hear next.
Good. Well done.
There's a sense of urgency about lunchtime drinking that I like. In the evening, people are just plundering time. Opening time and lunch are my favourite times of the day.
But I think that most people lead lives of such annihilating boredom. They're so paralysed by the awfulness of life that being in an alehouse drinking with a few acquaintances and talking a load of rubbish half the time is a tremendous relief.
Well, it's marginally less worse than not being, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, most people actually are bored out of their minds, aren't they? Yeah. Most of us don't comprehend any meaning in life. All this crap.
Being out and about, hanging around, is my work because that's what I write about. I can only write about what I know about. Fiction is for novelists. If I arrive at the Coach and Horses at 12 and not 11, Tom Baker tells me that I'm late for work. Editors often call me at the pub, but the staff have developed a highly effective system of protecting me, and I never have to talk to anybody that I don't want to.
It's very important that the setting, the ambience, the quality of the china, the glass, the quality of the staff within that area is going to balance the quality of food that you have in the back of house. It's no good if you have first-class food and a second-class environment. You need both those levels to be equal.
2 pies and 2 lots of mash. 3 times, please.
And I knew he'd got the Nobel. And I just sat on the stairs there and I thought, oh my God.
Cheers.
Chin, chin, John.
Here's to the next show. Don't ever have it.
Yep.
Right. Good luck with the ride.
Perhaps you'd like to order now. Your guest has already arrived.
Yes, I see. Well, I think I'll just have 50 quid's worth all round the menu. Better make it 40 quid's worth. I'll save a quid for the cab.
And he said, you know what, Mr. Mancini? He says, I'm going to name my car after your sandwich bar. I'm going to call it the Cortina.
Elvis helped make us famous for a moment by coming to Denver on one occasion and having 22 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches delivered to his plane.
They're all characters who are against the system and trying to exploit the system, aren't they? Partly because they're hungry. The great reward in these papers always is a feed.
Della tua bella savana.
At lunchtime, people are relaxed with no expectations of being entertained or seduced. No one is really serious at lunch, the way that they can be at dinner parties when everyone's trying to impress everyone else with what they've done or what they're about to do. You can be yourself during the day. That was almost the last time I saw old Frank. A week later, dead. The slightly depressing thing about Soho, at my age at any rate, is that the faces are thinning out. People will keep dying. I think we sometimes look about us and wonder who's next. Frank Blake was a fixture fitting for so long among so many other old friends that I sometimes feel as though I'm in a room that is slowly being stripped of its furniture.
Thank you. The line that went out was, that's very, a pint, that's very nearly an armful. And which, you know, gets a nice line. But I think when the line, Ryan and I used to take great care in rhythms. We used to spend a lot of time working out just how many, you know, the sound of the line, the rhythm of the line. One and too many, one but too many can kill a line, you know, one syllable.
It's like poetry, you know.
Indeed, you've got to get the rhythm right.
You've got to get it, you must get it right, otherwise it,
and so probably that line
work.
probably started out, that's an armful. I mean, which in itself is quite is amusing. You know, can't listen to talk about blood as being an armful or leg full. And then the other one probably said, that's nearly an armful, which is better because it's a little bit more precise. And then the other one would have topped it up by saying that's very nearly an armful. Now, very nearly an armful is much funnier than that's an armful. It's the same gag, but it's just that little... It's being specific on a stupid way of assessing things.
Hold out your hand, yes? Now, this won't hurt. You'll just feel a slight prick on the end of your thumb. Well, I'll bid you good day then. Thank you very much. If you want any more, don't hesitate to get in touch with me. Where are you going? Have me tea and biscuits.
But you came here to give us some of your blood.
Well, you've just had it.
That's just a smear.
It may be just a smear to you, mate, but it's life and death to some poor wretch.
I've just taken a sample to test.
A sample? How much do you want, then?
Well, a pint, of course.
A pint? Have you gone raving mad? You must be joking.
pint is a perfectly normal quantity to take.
You don't seriously expect me to believe that? I mean, I came in here in all good faith to help me country. I don't mind giving a reasonable amount, but a pint? That's very nearly an armful.
Lloyd's is a market. It's very much like any market. In other words, oranges, lemons, and fish. It's a series of stalls which are involved in selling insurance. The people who man the stalls are called underwriters, and the people who are trying to buy insurance are called brokers. Basically, the broker is shopping in this market space. And the whole activity of Lloyd's, again like a market, is under a single roof. And this is its unique quality.
Tú me dijiste que yo no sé qué cosa parece una tojosa cuando enciende el tabaco y yo te digo a ti que ya el tabaco se te cayó y yo te digo a ti que ya el tabaco se te cayó el tabaco, mi hermano, se te cayó el tabaco, mi hermano, se te cayó.
Unas pizzas mientras Lee pliega un canoto con un poco de marihuana que le había dado un amigo el fin de semana. Ninguno de los dos habló mucho. Lee se
Would you like some tea?
I'd love some.
I'll be mother.
Yes, milk. Oh.
I like afternoon tea. It's a very civilized thing.
And where is your elbow?
I had to sell it. I needed the money. To buy a house, in fact. My first house was the money from the Ebo. You've still got yours?
Oh, yes, of course.
You treasure it, do you?
Yes.
But you don't play it, though, do you?
Yes, I do.
Do you really?
Well, you never forget.
No, you never forget, but gosh, I don't think I could play one now.
Oh, I'll give you one lesson.
Would you really?
For nothing.
Do you know, I might take you up on that.
Yes. Why not?
Cement mixer, putty putty, cement mixer, putty putty.
What's anybody like? Anybody like anything?
Cement mixer goes putty putty, a puddle of wheat,
Can I have some tea?
The next part isn't quite so sad. First you take some gravel and then you pour it in a vault to make a mess of mortar. You take cement and water. See the mellow Rooney.
Oh.
Well, another day, another dollar. Really, just like that. Look at all these cigars. I gave up smoking cigars 3 years ago. Look at all those boxes. I can't bear to throw them away. There's not a cigar in them, but I'll tell you what there is in them. Well, that's my fix for today. Arrivederci.
I'm the president of the George Foreman Society, in actual fact just retired president now with honorary membership. And we've come up to Blackpool, as we do 3 times a year, to the Imperial Hotel, March, June and September for our annual general conventions. And of course September is always the biggest one because we have members all over the world, and they come from all over the world. With me little stick of Blackpool rock, along the promenade I stroll. It may get sticky, but I never complain. I like to have a nibble at it now and again. Every day, wherever I stray, the kids all round me flock. A fella took me photograph, it cost 1 and 3. I said, when that is done, is that supposed to be me? You blocked it up, the only thing I can see is me little stick of Blackpool rock. The whole song is involved around Blackpool, and that's why, of course, the song is so comparative with Blackpool itself. I met him when I was 7. His sister took me along to Ealing Studios to meet him making one of those films, and when I was introduced to him and Beryl, well, you know, to a little kiddie of 7 years old who idolised him, it was really something.
Thank you. And now I'm going to sing a song, and they're going to make a film of it at the same time. So if you see any flashing, don't take any notice, you see. All right, I'm going to sing a song called My Little Stick of Blackpool Rock. This being in Blackpool, we'll have it filmed as well.
See me dressed like all the sports in your
Well, there were always seemed to be rivaling groups of alchemists and magicians, as I recall. I mean, at one point there was a 15th century alchemical manuscript that Jacques Stern had that somehow was stolen or misplaced. And I mean, there was a point where everyone was casting spells on everybody else and throwing the tarot before they left their room to find out.
Oh, it was hysterical. And the magicians denouncing one another in the lobby.
Yes, right.
Let's see. Because he really didn't give a damn. That was free.
Vodka martini bien frío, hermanitos. Gordos vacas ahí tienes, ¿eh? Sí, arriba.
Through your sister.
Yeah.
She likes it or not, she makes it.
Whether near to me authority and then you like to...
I wouldn't go that far.
It's possible, I mean, psychologically. It's possible.
We should really reminisce about the time.
Think of you.
I never told her. I'm not married.
Send me to him.
You're not married.
He's not married.
He's a happy man.
She's a happy man.
Watch it, buddy. Watch it, buddy.
Cook a little rice with it or something, will you? Something, you know, either rice or noodles. Okay, Timmy. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Why do you have to know about my rice and noodles? Huh?
I didn't know what you were going to say.
Rice and noodles. What if you'd walked in here and I was talking business?
Some personal matters, Jack, possibly?
No.
You look cute today in your red shirt, huh? All right, now, what have I got to do? It's 8 o'clock. Why are we starting now? Is he crazy?
They're trying to finish it, Jack, for the week. So
Well, let's get him finished. Let's get him out of here. Huh? Finished with the assignment. Beautiful. Excellent work. Great work.
Can I have a look in your back?
Yeah, you want to go in with me while I go?
No.
This is Jack.
I do have to go. It's pretty neat, huh? See?
Does it work, Jack?
Toothbrush? I'll brush my teeth for you, Viv.
Tell me why.
Okay. I always brush my teeth before I report back in for work.
Why?
Consideration for my co-workers. It's grueling enough without a face full of lamb cutlets. They'll be so grateful to me now.
What?
They'll be so grateful. They'll say, look at that Jack. Who doesn't come down, even though it's midnight,
That's not true. It's 8 o'clock.
and Lord knows what he's been doing. He's down here, and he has a fresh and sparkling breath.
It's rather nice, man. You learn against one another.
When using incense, you've got to understand what you're handling. You've got to understand the fat, the mineral content of it. You've got to understand that some produce will fry, some will grill, some will dry roast. Need to let the wings off. Take them off. Here. Here. And the head. one of the most important factors is that you consult with a specialist. You liaise, you have the knowledge together, and between that, then you can break down the structures of what you're trying to create and what you're trying to use. Do not go into it blind. The risk of food poisoning could be very high. It is an unknown, and you need to have that specialist subject well looked into.
That looks like, I never thought this would happen to me.
Lady Russell, Lady Delarue.
I'm going to eat my baby. Yeah.
Fabulous.
It's just so amazing. But it looks wonderful on you, and we're such different types. We're
You both
exact
have exquisite
opposites.
taste.
Although his physique has become less than athletic, Pavarotti was a skillful teenage footballer, and he and his friends have been Juventus supporters since boyhood. The match has to be decided on penalties. Juventus pray that their ace goalkeeper Buffon can save Andrei Shevchenko's crucial kick.
So we're right in the middle of dinner now. It's pretty, tension here is pretty weird. Andy Warhol is wearing a pair of headphones, which he brought with him and hasn't taken off since he sat down. William Burroughs is looking fairly relaxed. He's wearing a beautiful pearl gray suit, and Warhol is telling him that he is the best dressed man in New York, and he admires his look more than anyone else's. Burroughs, slightly bemused perhaps by this kind of chic approach, has given Warhol a copy of his new book, Cities of the Red Knight, a proof copy.
What?
Wait, can you do drawings?
Oh, yes, sure.
And it's just drawn, signed in it, and drawn a painting. Warhol is telling Burroughs that he should be a painter.
Oh, my God. Oh, more on this side, right here, go.
No.
Oh, my God.
There we are.
Thanks a lot.
You're so lucky.
How great.
I'll get back to you in a few minutes and let you know what else is going on.
You ought to be ashamed, I said, to look so antique, and her only 31. I can't help it, she said, pulling a long face. It's them pills I took to bring it off, she said. He's had 5 already and nearly died of young George. The chemist said it would be all right, and I've never been the same. You are a proper fool, I said. Well, if Albert won't leave you alone, there it is, I said. What you get married for if you don't want children? Hurry up, please, it's time. Hurry up, please, it's time. Good night, Bill. Good night, Lou. Good night, May. Good night. Tata. Good night, good night. Good night, ladies. Good night, sweet ladies. Good night. Good night.
Kunefa kolondo, neba kolondo, kuni kera jamana kero, mwakini diana kobeke. Ibiri bai faro, hai biri bai naro, ebiri bai faro, hai biri bai naro, kita kedolo bamine, adolo betati.
It was a cold November night in 1941. I was living in digs in a Hertfordshire village. My coal fire had gone out. I was already in my pajamas. What I needed was an idea strong enough for a series of 6 programs. I was just about to get into bed, and then I had the inspiration.
Let's drift away on Dreamer's Bay. Let's sail along and sing a song together.
Normally, I'd have been inclined to leave it to the morning, by which time I'd probably have forgotten about it. But I felt impelled to go straight to my typewriter.
We don't know where this island is, do we?
We don't know, but it's not a bad island. It's got everything on it that you need. Do you think you'd manage?
Oh, I think I could survive.
Would you know which way to go? Do you know anything about stars or navigation?
Yes, I do know the stars.
Within these 4 walls I am at peace. Nothing can touch me. Not the darkness of men's souls, nor their contempt, nor their hatred, nor their judgment. Once I was weak, once I was lost. Now there is no question without answer. There was so much I needed to ask, and so much he alone could answer. He to whom I submit. Where I thought I was going to lose, there is so much more to gain. I can't really describe where I'm at. Paradise is beyond what my mind can conceive. I want to be in paradise. The purpose of life is worshipping the Creator, all of God's creations. The sun and the moon and the earth and the stars also worship Him. This is what drives me, saves me, frees me.
had a one shot that we put poor John Russell out on a flagpole hanging onto his camera, and it was the one shot where I fall, and could never be duplicated because the stuntman and all that got paid so much for doing it. And the next day at Rush's, we put in all the sound effects over black film in order to make Russell think he'd forgotten to rack over. That's the sort of cruelty that was common on the sets in those days. And we were all very forgiving. Doesn't matter. We'll do it again tomorrow night. He'd been so scared.
I once said I thought you could define humanity as people who prayed. And I was met with rather cynical laughter. And my friend said, what about these dreadful louts and jobbers and murderers? They don't pray. And I said, how do you know? I said, I'll bet there's never been a person who hasn't perhaps in the night had that sense of longing and incompleteness and shame at what they are. And that's prayer. It's not explicit prayer, but it's real prayer. I think we're made to pray because God made us for himself.
If I'm not working and things, I don't like to go out. Where do you go, first of all? Should I take the car to drive around without any destination, just to drive around? No. But any Italian would suggest that if I'm going to go around Rome to do a thing like we did yesterday, you should take me to the fountain. Even the Italian says that it's Anita's fountain. It is my fountain. Why does the time have to change? Why do we have to change like that, so drastically, too? Time goes by to everybody.
This is the hour when the theatre crowds have gone, the late-night restaurants have closed, and you become aware that you have crossed, all unwittingly, some invisible frontier into a different world. Without moving a single step from where you've been standing, you have travelled during these few minutes into a far country, the land of the Night People, a legendary kingdom of whose customs and laws you know nothing, and of whose inhabitants you have been told only that they are dangerous and strange, and that a wise man or woman will keep well away from them. You are in the kingdom of the night.
Candy came from out on the island. In the back room, she was everybody's darling. But she never lost her head, even when she was given head. She says, hey, babe, take a walk on the wild side. Said, hey, babe, take a walk on the wild side. And the colored girls go do-do-do, do-do, do-do-do, do-do-do, do-do, do-do-do, do-do-do, do-do, do-do-do, do-do-do, do-do, do-do-do.
Don't disappoint me. Be beautiful. That's very good, very good. Give me a holler.
Max's Kansas City, a restaurant near the factory, is the gathering place for New York's underground. Almost every evening, Warhol's clan can be found here. Kansas City functions as both an unofficial casting agency and a public playground.
Oh, God, that place was sick. It was wonderful. Yeah, so much happened back there. In one night, I mean, you would just see, like, you know, I mean, everybody from Patti Smith, Robert Mapplethorpe, Mick Jagger would be there, somebody else would be there, Jane Fonda and Rajab Abdeen would be in Detroit, no. They would be somewhere else. And of course, in the bathrooms, people were just doing drugs and of course, the music. You're not paying attention.
Here's room 506. It's enough to make you sick. Bridget's all wrapped up in foil. You wonder if she can uncoil. Here they come now. See them run now. Here they come now. Chelsea
He had had enough of public performance, and enough even of his own exhibitionism. And in despair, he said, I've come to the melancholy conclusion that my health is totally gone. I've seen the gates of hell.
Between 2 and 3:30 a.m. on the morning of November the 3rd, 1953, in this bar, Dylan Thomas consumed 18 straight whiskies. That's 18 English doubles rather than 18 English singles. He died 6 days later of what one doctor described as this severe insult to the brain. Does this story sound familiar to you? I myself have read it in no less an authoritative source than The Rough Guide to Britain. It does sound exactly the way this wild, drunken Welsh poet might have died. The trouble is, it's almost certainly completely untrue. There were people in the bar that night, and none of them remember him drinking anything like that amount. The phrase severe insult to the brain
first surfaces in this book, Dylan Thomas in America, by John Malcolm Brinning, the fountainhead of the Dylan Thomas myth. This is the poet as pulp fiction hero.
Last drink.
2 here, 2 there. Same thing.
Yes, sir.
It's funny.
What?
Time, Alec. Did you ever think about time? It goes, Alec. That's the business of time.
Little Ronnie Reagan, we called him. He was just a nice little contract player, you know, and one does sit around and say anything can happen in America. There's no question about it.
Light breaks where no sun shines, where no seas run, the waters of the heart push in their tides, and broken ghosts with glowworms in their heads, the things of light, file through the flesh where no flesh decks the bone.
There's a coal train. There's a coal train that comes from Angola and Mozambique. There's a coal train that comes from Namibia, from Caprivi, from Zimbabwe, and Zambia. There's a coal train that comes from Malawi, from Swaziland, from Lesotho and Botswana, the whole hinterland of Southern Africa. And it carries with it young men and old men conscripted to come and work under contract in the gold, the coal, the mineral, diamond mines of Johannesburg and the surrounding metropoli. Deep, 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 deep down in the belly of the earth, when they're drilling and digging for that evasive, mighty stone, or when they dish that mishmash, mash food out of a cold iron shovel into their iron plates, or when they sit miserably in their filthy, flea-ridden barracks, and they think about the lands and the herds that were taken away from them. They think about their lovers, their mothers, their brothers, their fathers, their sisters, their children, and their friends who are daily forcibly removed away from their lands, some of whom they never may see again. And when they hear that choo-choo train steaming way out on the horizon, they always curse the coal train that brought them to Johannesburg. Still alive.
Každý deň sa musíme ponoriť do temnoty, ktorá neodvolateľne prichádza a pripomína nám temnotu, z ktorej sme sa narodili a v ktorej skončíme. Keď mozog prestane vnímať okolie a ponorí sa do dávno zažitých dejov, začíname snívať.
Ayud! Ayud! Would you endure prolonged loneliness? What would you be most glad to have got away from? Would you try to escape? Would you know which way to go?
As a child, I suffered from the most horrific nightmares. I used to strike out in my sleep at anyone within distance. And one recurring dream came night after night, and that was my hands seemed to grow larger and larger like giant balloons. I couldn't stand it.
It seems to me I'm trying to tell you a dream, making a vain attempt because no relation of a dream can convey the dream sensation. That commingling of absurdity, surprise, and bewilderment, and a tremor of struggling revolt. That notion of being captured by the incredible, which is of the very essence of dreams.
Begin at the beginning. It is spring, moonless night in the small town. Starless and Bible black, the cobbled streets silent, and the hunched quarters and rabbit's wood limping invisible down to the slow black, crow black fishing boat bobbing sea. The houses are blind as moles. The moles see fine tonight in the snouting velvet dingles. And all the people of the lulled and dumbfound town are sleeping now.